Hello everyone and welcome to your Advective Winter Weather Update for January 30th, 2023. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with a refresher on precipitation types, and this is because there are 4 different types of precipitation to talk about, and we're going to be talking about all of them today. So snow, we all know what snow is. We all know what snowflakes are. That is precipitation that never freezes from the time it falls from the sky. Sleet is when your snow melts and then refreezes, so it's those little ice pellets. Freezing rain is when you have rain falling from the sky, and when it hits a surface, then it freezes, and then finally rain, it never refreezes, it melts as snow, and then hits the ground. We all know what rain is. So let's get into an overview of what we're expecting. This is going to be from today to February 1st that we're primarily going to be seeing. This is a long duration ice storm, and this is going to be a high confidence, high threat level kind of thing here. So winter storm and ice storm warnings are already in place. You can see there in the current watches and warnings. The pink, those are winter storm warnings. The ice storm warnings are in the darker purple. Winter weather advisories in place in that lighter purple. Winter storm watches in the blue. You can also see here that freezing rain and sleet are going to begin today and tonight, moving through Wednesday, and ice accumulations of greater than 1/4 of an inch are likely. So in the graphic there, you can see the top graphic. If you are in those blue areas, you are in a 50% chance or above of 1/2 an inch of ice falling or freezing rain at some point. And then if you're in that small area of that reddish color, then you have an 80 to 90% chance of over 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain. That's a lot. That's rather dangerous. So let's get into current conditions here. You can see rather clearly the winter storm and ice storm warnings. Those are in the pink, those winter weather warnings. In the blue, you can see there those winter weather advisories, and then those green areas, those are flood warnings to the south. Those are rather dangerous as well. There's a slight risk of excessive rainfall. We're not going to go over that today, but a slight risk of excessive rainfall there in the Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas region 3 days out from now. As we get into the radar here more clearly, you can see the first thing that we notice is that rather large system moving off the east coast of the United States there through Georgia and South Carolina. We also notice that new snow developing there in Oklahoma. There was a bit of thunder snow there as well, and some sleet also included. That's in the reds. You can also notice there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Austin area, some snow firing off, and near Houston we have some rain that's falling. We also have some lake effect snow that's been occurring there in the northeastern United States, hitting places like New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan. And finally, that little bit of energy there just moved through the St. Louis area and is heading towards the Columbus area right now, heading south of Indianapolis. And we also have a low pressure system there moving into California, producing some showers and storms there down near Los Angeles. Let's take a look at the official forecast. Here are those warnings in a bit more detail, and you can see they're rather widespread all the way from Texas to New York. And we have those winter storm warnings in pink, so that is primarily going to be for snow, freezing rain, ice, etc. And then the ice storm warnings there, those are going to be for primarily just ice. In either scenario, 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of ice possible, especially as you move towards the center points of those warnings. Dangerous stuff to be sure. As we head into the Winter Storm Severity Index, you can treat this a lot like we treat the Storm Prediction Center's convective outlooks, and you can see there those moderate impacts. That's a level 3 out of 5. So you can expect disruptions to daily life. That's the definition of a level 3 out of 5. So this means that travel is going to be hazardous. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to walk outside because they're going to be slick. Sidewalks, roadways, etc. So it's going to be difficult to travel, generally speaking, and power outages are also a possibility. We'll be talking about how to prepare for those as time goes on in this video. Well, let's take a look at weather models now. This is over the next 3 days. This is the National Weather Service's national blend of models. So this gives us an idea of what's going to happen, but don't take this for gospel. Listen to the National Weather Service and your local officials for exact accumulations expected in your area, but this gives you a general idea of what's going on. So you can see there rather widespread ice totals in Texas, over 1/10 of an inch over much of central Texas, and we're going to be maximizing at nearly 4/10 of an inch if this model is to be believed. There are some even higher extremes on other weather models, so there's definitely a possibility that this is a bit conservative, although it's probably not going to be quite as widespread as this model indicates if there is a maximized area of 1/2 an inch or more of ice. So you can see there that first maxima, that's going to be in central Texas. The second one there is in Arkansas, and we'll notice there that that's going to be just over 1/4 of an inch. Weather Service again predicting that it could be up to 1/2 an inch of ice, and again it's probably going to be on a slightly more narrow corridor than this, but this model gives you a general idea of what's expected to happen. This model having about 2/10 of an inch accumulating in the Little Rock area, 2/10 in Memphis, Tennessee as well. And then as we head in towards Kentucky, you can also see there rather clearly over a tenth an inch of ice, certainly possible in some areas. So again, this gives you a general idea of what's going on. For exact accumulations, go to your weather service, local officials, news outlets, places like that. But we here are just looking at an overall overview of what's expected to happen. Let's take a look at snow accumulations. This is again from the National Weather Service blend of models. The Weather Service for your specific area has a more specific look at what's happening. But you can see there less than an inch expected for much of the areas under threat from this ice storm. So southern Missouri heading into Illinois, Kentucky, northern Arkansas. You're going to be seeing there nearly a trace to half an inch of snow. And then as we head into the northeast, you can see some areas, especially in the more lake effect prone regions, getting over an inch of snow or so. Some places getting over 3 inches, especially there near Buffalo, New York. You can also see there rather clearly the Rockies are going to be getting some snow as well. But again, the primary thing to talk about in this video is that ice threat. So what can you do? Firstly, we're going to just refresh people on watches and warnings. So when a watch is in place, that means conditions are favorable, or it is forecasted that a hazardous weather event is going to occur. So that means heavy snow, sleet, or freezing rain is possible, although it is not imminent. So you want to be prepared, and we're going to tell you how you can be prepared here in just a second. If there's a winter storm warning in place, or an ice storm warning for that matter, that means heavy snow, sleet, or freezing rain is expected. Travel will become dangerous. There will be delays to things. You'll need to adjust plans. You'll need to take action. So those of you in watches, start preparing. Those of you in warnings, what I'm telling you about here in a minute, you need to act on pretty much right away because the event will be starting soon. So here's what you can do. Are you ready for ice storms? This is important. So you want to trim weak or damaged branches around your home. This is important so that way your tree doesn't collapse. You don't have things falling off during the storm. That can be rather dangerous. You don't want to leave vehicle wipers raised. Those are going to be very difficult to get back down. It's going to be very difficult to use those windshield wipers to aid you when you're cleaning off your car later. You want to have at least a week's worth of food and prescriptions and water as well, in case your pipes burst, water stuff happens. So having a few gallons of water inside, not a bad idea either. Don't park your car under trees because, again, those trees can fall over. Those branches can fall off. You want to keep your electronic devices charged, and something not mentioned here is that you do want to have a power generator. These generators should always be used outside the home, so this is especially if you're power outage prone, because you could be out of power for a while. You want to make sure those generators are outside the home because carbon monoxide poisoning is a very real danger with those, and that's why you want to install and test carbon monoxide alarms at least once a month. These are going to allow you to know what your carbon monoxide level is in your home and let you know if dangerous levels are coming up. So that way you know if you're in danger, if you need to take action in regards to some carbon monoxide problems. Finally, after a winter storm, those power outages, that's what we've been talking about the whole time. This is what you want to do. You want to be careful with your heat sources. Candles and space heaters are certainly a fire risk. You also want to stay warm by bundling up and keeping doors closed, placing towels in cracks. So you want to be in a smaller, more confined room if your power's out, if you don't have any other solutions, so that way the heat from your body while you bundle up is enough to really heat up that room and keep it warm. You want to practice portable generator safety. Again, that's keeping that generator outdoors. You don't want it inside. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a very real danger. And finally, once you're safe, make sure that your neighbors are okay. If you can help your neighbors, that's important too. We want to make sure that everyone gets through this storm and everyone is helping one another out so that way everyone makes it out safely and okay. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope that it was useful and helpful as this winter weather event does begin to bear down on Texas and Arkansas specifically. Tennessee, Mississippi, Oklahoma, those areas also going to be getting hit, but the hardest hit states definitely looking to be Texas and Arkansas over the next 3 days or so. You can join us in the link below at our Discord server if you want to chat more about this winter weather stuff, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.